First, you must realize that you have no idea before you can know the idea. We scan across all the frequencies if we want to learn anything new. Let us begin.
What has physics done for me lately?
Furthermore, the equation E is equal mc squared.
We have now acquired a fateful power to alter and to destroy nature.
That's like when you're in physics and you go to Dreamworld saying, oh, this is a physics excursion.
Science. What is it all about?
The whole of human history all falls in the dust of one stroke of the nail file. You can't really get to grips with evolution unless you realise what an enormous amount of time.
Our own planet is only a tiny part of the vast cosmic tapestry, a starry fabric of worlds yet untold.
You're tuned into what can only be described as the best radio station on this blue dot we call Earth. It is, of course, 4ZZZ, your community broadcaster, be it on your conventional wireless radio, by tuning into the classic frequency of 102.1 FM, digital devices such as DAB or smart speaker, listening via the Community Radio Plus app, or streaming us live from our sensational website at 4ZZZ.org.au. And of course, you can always listen back to our show, any 4ZZZ show, using the ingenious on-demand feature also found at that URL. We also now have a weekly podcast of the show for your listening pleasure, curated by Toby, a condensed version of the show without the music, which my mum prefers. Just search for our show name, which is, of course, No Idea, spelt with a K, your weekly dose of science. And joining me for this episode to speak about all things science are four of my favourite science influencers. May I introduce Peta.
Hello.
Gabrielle.
Morning, Max.
Issy.
Hello.
Elly.
Good morning, all.
Okay.
Oh, good space time, Max. Rewind. We can't say morning anymore.
No.
True. Good space time to you all.
Sorry, Toby, editing the podcast.
Yeah,
We've already
right.
stuffed it up. My first show of 2026.
He's a man's away for 4 weeks and he loses everything.
He does.
Now, it's now show number 684. I left you in the 670s, and it's now 684. And in everyone's favourite segment, Peter's, look at that. She's loving it, Max. You're loving it.
There's a calm
Max,
silence across the Great for radio.
when Perseverance, the Mars rover, on its 684th sol on Mars, so Mars Day, Martian Day, it took a photo, a pretty cool photo. It's a Martian surface, orangey, a brown surface.
Yeah.
And
Looks
it's
kinda
taken
green
it on
from what
its,
I'm looking at.
A little green, a little green. I'm
Yes.
sure that's just some weird camera noise. On HazCam, it's hazard avoidance camera, and it's taken a photo back of a little donut it's done on the surface of Mars.
Hell yeah. Sick tracks.
And they would
Brother's going.
actually be of scientific significance, because they can see how much tread wear is happening to the tyres as well. So just
It took some good close-ups too, Max,
Yeah.
of the treadwear. It did.
Cool. Yeah.
On the same sole. Coming up on the show, Max, I've got a story about cows using tools.
Yes.
What do you got, Peter?
I've got a lot of whales today. A lot of big things in the ocean today, so get excited about that.
Max?
I got rats cleaning their teeth with electric toothbrushes.
Hell yes. Hell yes. Izzy, are you jealous you didn't have that story?
I am. I'm immensely. I'm
like this is a
curious
you
about
story.
the cows with tools. Can they use an electric toothbrush?
Another great question. And yet more science proposals come out of this show, and we still do not have funding.
That's it. And the show is No Idea, your weekly dose of science with me, Max. We've got Issy, we've got Elly, we've got Gabe, and we've got our friendly neighbourhood marine scientist who might hit us up with a bit of weird science. Before you start, Peter, sorry to interrupt. We spoke about this last week, that we should all have our own names as well, nicknames, like the friendly neighbourhood marine scientist, Gabe.
Oh yeah, I've been pioneering this for like 4 years. No one else has taken it. I mean, mine is really because I am a huge fan of Spider-Man, so I just say it all the time.
Fair enough. Gabe, you got any thoughts? Maybe we talk about it next week.
We should pitch them for each other. We'll draw names out of a hat for the rest of us. Peter's not involved. She's already got hers.
That's right.
And then we'll come up with one for each other.
Okay, sounds good. Peter?
Okie dokie. Well, we're going to start, obviously, you did say I'm your friendly neighbourhood marine scientist, so I try and sneak some marine science and the weird science every single week. It's not necessary. I do it because I love the game. So this may be hard to believe, but there's a lot of whales that I have not seen. I know, shocking. Everyone thinks I've seen every whale, but in fact, it's actually most of them that I have not seen. And, despite this, I knew this, but I was cocky. I thought I knew whales. I was like, I know whales. There's not going to be something that really shocks me. This study proved I was wrong, because for the first time in my life, I saw a photo of a female beluga whale. They're not white. They're not big either. They're like dolphins. They don't even look like the same species. Who was going to tell me this? The beluga whales aren't all white. I feel like if I saw one in the wild, I wouldn't say that was a beluga. I would think that was a different whale, which means that I'm drastically wrong. I'm a terrible marine scientist, and this is the sort of thing that means that you need to keep studying, because I did not know this. Did you know this?
No.
It looks like a beluga. I saw the photos of this study. The male beluga whale looks
like
the
a beluga
female
whale
in the way that a bottlenose dolphin looks like a dugong. Like the males are like the dugong version in the belugas.
Well,
and then
they're much
females are so
larger.
much smaller, sleeker.
Yeah, I think genuinely the female looks more like a dolphin than it does a beluga whale. Like it's small, it's grey, it's skinny, where the male belugas are big, white, chonky. Like, you assume that things look the way they do because of their habitat, but these things live in the same habitat and are drastically different. So this was wild to me. That's not my weird science, me just being shocked about beluga whales. I just had to get it out there because it was crazy to me.
Yeah.
But it might make sense that I didn't know this, because beluga whales, or I had this before. Delphinopterus lucas live in remote, icy Arctic and subarctic waters, making them one of the most difficult whale species to observe in the wild.
Even the scientific name is stitching you up, because Lucas is white.
Yeah.
Oh,
Even
really?
that.
Latin for white.
Yeah,
right?
Okay.
That's called sexism and misogyny and ecology, babes. They're only describing the males, and that makes perfect sense. Of course they would. But while their migration patterns and general ecology are relatively well known, I mean, it's a white whale, you would look out for it, the mating behaviour and reproductive strategies have remained largely sort of speculative. And one of the main reasons for this, genuinely, is that they can't see through ice. And a lot of this happens under the ice. So they're
Facts.
like, well, guess it's under there then. A mystery. So today's research from Florida Atlantic University. QS ranking, please.
800.
Yeah, I think that's right. It's in range
350.
1,000.
Yeah, it wasn't good enough for Florida. It is 1,001 to 1,200.
damn.
Well done,
Tis a range, babe. So they wanted to see what beluga mating systems mean for genetic health and conservation, because beluga whales are in need of conservation. But more specifically, they were looking at who mates with whom in a wild beluga population. They were basically watching who gets freaky.
Yeah.
They were doing like a Love Island analysis of these beluga whales and what was going on where, who was going to whom. So they wanted to see whether belugas are polygynous, which is one male, multiple females, polyandrous, which is one female, multiple males, or polygynandrous, which is both sexes mate with multiple partners. Those are the three options.
Swingers.
Yeah, basically. Are they swingers? And they came into luck with the Bristol Bay belugas, which are a largely isolated population of 2,000 whales with minimal mixing from other groups. So essentially they could just sort of use these as a small study. They didn't need to worry about outsiders and interlopers breaking up their data. Over a 13-year period, which is solid, the research team combined genetics with long-term field observations, and they collected genetic samples from 623 individual beluga whales, which is about 30% of their entire Bristol Bay population, which has got to be something to talk about. You know, like, it's like, oh, well, did you guys get your biopsy yet? I did. Ha, ha, ha. What the hell's going on, guys? Like, I think that's kind of crazy. And then from that, they recorded their ages, their sex, their social groupings, whether they had a presence of calves from, like, you know, just watching them. And they used the genetics that they took to sort of do parentage analysis of identify which males fathered which calves and relatedness, so whether they were full siblings or half siblings. And they focused on short-term reproductive strategies, so single breeding seasons over multiple consecutive years, rather than like how many calves did this one male have over his entire lifetime, you know? Slightly different things to look at. And so that integrated approach allowed the team to infer mating systems that they can't observe directly because they get freaky under the ice. So here's what they found. They found that the mating system was far more complex and evenly distributed than they expected. Number one finding: the Bristol Bay beluga population is, drumroll please, polygynandrous, which means both males and females mate with multiple partners over several years.
They're just straight up swingers.
Damn.
You had it, mate.
They swingers. They out here being freaky. How exciting. They did say the reproductive success is moderately distributed. So there's no small group of males that are dominating the calf production, which can happen in a lot of species. Most genetic patterns show that each individual will have many half siblings and very few full siblings. So they usually don't mate with the same individual twice. And males are only moderately polygynous in the short term. It does go both ways. So they switch mates frequently between the breeding seasons. They found that older and younger adults were equally likely to have calves in any given period, which is pretty cool. And older females had more surviving calves than younger mothers. So again, this is a thing we see a lot with whales and cetaceans, is that they pass on knowledge, and being an older female is really valuable in a lot of these places. But overall, they do reproduce slowly. They're a large mammal. It's what happens. You produce a calf infrequently. It's not like you're going to be like a fish, spewing out young. But one of the things that shocks them about this is that, like I said before, beluga males are so much bigger. And this level of sexual dimorphism, especially when it's like, so sexual dimorphism is what we call it when there's different shape, sizes, appearance between sexes. So really big male, really little female, or the other way around. And in other species where they have these really big males and really little females, there'll be a lot of competition between the males because that's just how it works. That's one of the reasons why they're big. They found that in this, not at all. So it's really unlike other species that have this high level of sexual dimorphism, and they're not entirely sure why. But it doesn't breed that competition, apparently, which is nice, I guess, for the belugas to not have that. Seems like it's a nice, healthy relationship. The male strategy appears to be shaped by their longevity, as like they have very long lifespans, and so they have a decent, ample opportunities to reproduce over the decades that they live.
So no rush.
No rush. Don't need to fight. Don't need to get it out there. You just chill out. Have a great time. With females, apparently the mate switching is probably great because it's a risk management strategy, so you can avoid low quality or closely related males by going to a bunch of different guys over your lifetime. It increases the genetic diversity and the offspring viability. But the main thing that we wanted to talk about with this study, the reason I want to talk about this, the reason they looked into it, and the reason it was important that they did, is because when we talk about conservation, often we just think about how many individuals there are in a population, right? Yes or no, are there individuals? But what this means is that you actually need to look at how they reproduce and the culture behind their reproduction, because it drastically changes how many calves and the genetic diversity and the health of the population long term, more than just is there a beluga or isn't there a beluga. So that's really why they were looking into this, and it showed that it's a really big difference here, because now we know that even if they're not mating super frequently, they have a lot of genetic diversity, which is super healthy. So very, very cool study. Just watching some belugas get freaky. I also wanted to mention that a crucial driver of this research was the collaboration with the indigenous communities in Bristol Bay, which is in Alaska, who partnered with the scientists throughout the study, contributed indigenous knowledge, and are part of the management of this beluga whale population. So this could only have been done with them.
Chris texted in. They said the beluga whales sound more interesting than Love Island. How could that be?
I agree. Get cameras under the ice. Let's watch them.
You tune into 4ZZZ, and the show is No Idea with me, Max. Peter wants to correct something.
Yes, I do. Turns out I do know whales. I should have given myself some more credit. Turns out the researchers mislabeled the photo on the article I was looking at in their study.
Okay. Oh no.
The females
Female.
the male females. They labeled a calf as a female. The females are white. They're still much smaller, so that part still is very important.
Valid,
They're
yeah.
significantly smaller, but they are white. So that's good, because I was like, if I didn't know that they weren't white, that was a real stress on my status here as your friendly neighbourhood marine scientist.
Of course, that master's degree into district.
Real question.
Yeah,
real
Max.
upset.
And Max, the friendly neighborhood marine scientist nickname. I've got, I think in my next story, some proposals of what could be our nicknames.
You
Oh,
too.
cool.
Oh, wow.
Okay, it's getting exciting.
The brain cell?
Yeah.
Want to give me a
Not
sting?
bad, eh?
Do you really want it?
A question for the room to start off with. Are you a careful examiner or a quick nut grabber?
Yeah, quick nut grabber.
Quick nut grabber.
I think that could be a great nickname.
Yeah?
It's
Max the
nice.
quick nut grabber.
Yeah. I'm definitely more of a careful examiner.
I think I am a careful examiner.
Yeah, I would call myself careful.
Okay, interesting. This comes to us. This was in one of Nature's journal called Scientific Reports. This is where they put their stuff that's not quite up to nature's scratch. You guys.
in nature-ish.
It's a new paper that's looked at the differences between what they call careful examiners who sniff and handle carefully or quick nut grabbers.
Yes.
I have, of course, left out the other key bit of information, which is research done on mice. 2 species of
Yeah,
Japanese
there we
wood
go.
mouse in
Nice.
central Japan in Nagoya University Forest, which does, of course, mean that this comes to us out of Nagoya University. QS ranking, please.
I've studied there. Fun
Really?
fact. I have genuinely studied there when I was a child. They have a secondary school attached to it.
And the QS ranking is, of course.
273.
Max, did you hear that? I just said 73, but yeah.
273.
Is he?
250?
Yeah. 164.
Damn.
Yeah.
Pretty good, though.
So these wood mice go looking for food at night when it's too dark to just rely on vision to determine the quality of that food. So they probably are using their nose instead for a lot of that. The thing is, some of these mice seem to be the quick nut grabbers, take a few seconds to decide what food to take, and others, careful examiners, taking, in some case, over 20 seconds to decide what nut to grab.
Yeah, it's important. It's a big, important decision.
It is. And so the
Also,
question
nuts are
is...
so variable. I
They
don't
are.
blame them. Some nuts are terrible. You know when you open a pistachio and you're like, oh, God, that was
Yeah.
not...
So the
that's not what I
question
wanted.
then is, why is there such a difference? Why, are the quick ones better smellers, or are they just grabbing bad food? The researchers studied them over the course of 2 years, visiting
Why?
feeding stations they set up.
Hey, whoa, let people have their stuff, Max. We spend, 25% of this show on weird science, and you're now claiming it's too weird? Get on the program.
Each feeding station contained chestnuts, 6 in total, 3 great nuts, and 3 nuts that had been damaged by moths, which leave things like feces that produce odors. What they call, quote, distinctive odors. Cameras then recorded how the mice interacted with this free food.
It doesn't sound like there's much of a choice. They're really great nuts. 10 out of 10 nuts. You would find these nuts off the street. You'd sniff them out like a bloodhound. And then there's, there's actual feces in these ones.
Yeah, they found that the picky eaters who took time to examine the nuts were significantly more likely to select the undamaged chestnuts. The longer they're taking, the better the quality of the food they're grabbing, suggesting the extra time investment pays off, despite increased risk. The risk here, the trade-off is
You
then
get predated.
out in the open
Yeah.
with the owls
And owls
and
like,
everything else.
wow, that one's been stealth for a while.
I might go and have a look. Yeah, that's right.
The interesting part was that both of the species of these field mice both had each of the behavioral patterns being displayed. It wasn't one species doing one, the other species doing the other. They were both doing both, and they couldn't see any clear distinction between why they would, each mouse was doing one or the other strategy in terms of foraging. So that's what they want to look into now here, because it has sort of implications throughout the broader ecosystem of, well, if that's going to have a difference, maybe the different mice are going to thrive in different conditions. If there's a moth infestation, that's going to change how these mice interact. And if there's predator change, it's going to change how the mice interacts. So that's what they want to do next. They've done 2 years of study.
Add owls to the ecosystem. See how
Something
it
like
goes.
that. Yeah, they've done 2 years of study on these wood mice, and they want to keep going and see why some of them are quick.
Are they at
nut
least
grabbers
cute?
and
Is that
others
why we're
careful
excited?
Examiners. They are very cute little mice.
Oh, okay, great.
That's
Yeah,
all I got
good.
for you, Max.
Okay. Well, we've got a text in from Murray, but we might leave that to the panel to decide whether we announce it or not. Okay. Ready?
What you got, Max?
Even with regular brushing, teeth can become stained from genetic factors or consuming foods and drinks
Don't I
like
know it?
red wine or coffee. Peroxide-based bleaching with strips, gels and mouth rinses is a popular option for whitening stained teeth. This type of chemical whitening generates reactive oxygen compounds that break apart stain-causing molecules. But in addition to removing stains, many whitening techniques can damage the tooth enamel, which might result in easier restaining or other oral problems. So the researchers combine strontium and calcium ions with barium titanate in a solution and then heated it and formed it into a ceramic powder, which they've dubbed BSCT.
So like a tooth paint.
It's a powder at the moment. But I guess if you put it in solution, I guess. And when vibrated, the powder generates the powder generates a small electric field that causes reactive oxygen chemical reactions.
Oh, not paint.
Cool.
That's cool.
Vibrate.
In initial lab tests using human teeth artificially stained with tea and coffee.
Where'd they get the tea?
Yeah.
Where'd they get the tea? Imagine just working in a lab full of teeth.
After 4 hours of brushing with BSCT and an electric toothbrush cause visible whitening.
Whoa, sorry. Did you say 4 hours?
Yes.
No one's doing that. That's crazy.
But the thing
Those
is...
things, electric toothbrushes don't last that long either.
No,
Plugged into the wall. I mean, come on.
They just want to see
They got
how...
the Ryobi.
We're going to need the 5 amp hour battery on this one. So what we've done, just think of it this way. The 4 hours, you divide it up over days. So 4 hours is 240 minutes. And if you brush your teeth twice a day, that's 4 minutes. So suddenly you're down to 60 days. So after 2 months, you would experience the same whitening as the 400 in one go, if you know what I mean.
Right. But would that be like one whitening strip? Like, because I like my enamel, but that does sound like a crazy amount of work.
Anyway, after 12 hours of brushing,
Oh, Jesus.
treated teeth were almost 50% whiter than the control group, stained in the same way,
I'd be
but
worried
brushed
if they
with
weren't.
saline.
Yeah.
For teeth with damaged enamel and dentin, BSCT brushing generated these structural components because the strontium, calcium and barium ions included in the powder form deposits on the tooth surface.
Yeah, that's cool. It's like mini fillings.
Now, this is the kicker. This is the weird bit. Next, researchers tested the powder on rats fed high sugar diets.
Oh.
Delightful.
Daily brushing for 1 minute over 4 weeks using BSCT helped restore the rat's oral microbiome, removed harmful bacteria, and more importantly, fixed their halitosis.
Oh, yeah, I imagine that would be really important to the researchers who's brushing the rat teeth multiple times a day. I mean, it sounds like a great job until you mention the halitosis, and then you're like, well, no, I would like that fixed.
Though current tests have not yet incorporated the BSCT powder into a toothpaste formula, researchers say that this study is a step forward to a new effective at-home treatment for safely whitening teeth and promoting oral health.
Is it
that
difficult?
would be very interesting if you could add it to a normal toothpaste, wouldn't it? 'Cause
I
that
can't
would-
imagine it would be difficult. I mean, you have to electrocute it, but...
No, just the vibration of the electric
Oh, the
toothbrush.
toothpaste. Okay, then we're fine.
causes
If
it
it creates its
static or
own...
something.
Yeah, the rubbing
yeah.
together. Yeah.
Well, then,
Yeah.
why can't we just shove this... I'm sure there's like 1,000 cosmetic chemists out there that are just like, yeah, I can dump that into a formula. Why not?
It's shoved up.
Let's just move on. Let's not waste time. Let's get on to human trials. I'm
Skip
ready
the
for
trials,
Yeah.
straight to the shelf.
this. I'm ready.
What could go wrong?
Your predictions in the past, Max, how accurate have those been?
Not so good. No.
So that's right, everyone. Take this.
Maybe I shouldn't play this
bucket
now.
of salt.
You tune into 4ZZZ, and the show is No Idea with me, Max. We've got Issy, we've got Elly, we've got Gabe, and we've got our friendly neighbourhood marine scientist, so it can only mean one thing.
Do you know what tuna is?
Fish.
It's fish!
Thank God someone's working on this. I don't know what I'd do without it.
Fish are friends, not food.
Great start. Gabe, what does a cat say?
Yeah?
Max, what does a chicken say?
Cluck, cluck.
And Izzy, what does a shark say?
What are you doing?
We should do that intro a cappella style next week.
I genuinely could sing it, but I feel like at some point
Gabe,
it's
what's
just
it say? Yeah,
wild.
right.
It's just crazy to sing that live on radio.
Okay.
I would need you to all really come up with the audio tech to make sure I stay in tune. Okay. One day I might do it if you're good.
Yes.
I'll tell you that. Hey, how about we do this? Next time we have a subscriber drive, we can set a goal, and at a certain goal, I promise you now, I will sing my intro live. Not all the parts. I can't do that. But the main song. I will sing the H2O intro.
Clip it, save it, roll it out for April Atonement, Max.
Okay, job done.
At a goal that I agree on. I need to be clear on that. Not just a goal. It can't be 3 people. Okay. So, today, again, we're talking about whales. And I really like this story because in one of my old workplaces, we used to have this saying, and it was, diversity makes us stronger. And it really stuck with me because this is a core value of mine I've held for a very long time, but it was the first time I'd heard it articulated so clearly, like it's literally 4 words. And when we look to the world, I think this principle is so obvious, and it's not just in human life, but also in ecology. You can see it everywhere. Like we were literally just talking about how genetic diversity makes a population stronger despite small numbers. It's really important everywhere. And today I'm going to talk to you about how diversity is beneficial for whales. So a couple of weeks ago now, I think we were talking about some research that was showing that despite the overall astounding recovery of humpback whales around the globe, this was being driven pretty heavily by our own East Coast Aussie humpbacks, which, great for us, but also the rest of the globe is kind of missing out. Like, we have gone to about 40,000 and the current estimate for the global amount is 60,000. So we're really hogging the whales, if we're being honest. Recovery out there's just been a lot slower for a multitude of reasons. But some of these old whales, are being taught a new trick by immigrants. Within the rather frigid waters of the Kitimat Fjord system on Canada's west coast, humpbacks have acquired a new skill. Bubble netting. Does anyone remember what bubble netting is? We've talked about this a couple times. Yeah? What's bubble netting?
I think Issy should explain. Issy looks
No. I was waiting for someone else to explain.
They blow bubbles in a ring to sort of almost make like a net of weird
bubble netting.
Yeah, stuff that the fish get freaked out by and they all stay in the middle of. And then they usually start from lower down as well, so the fish sort of get driven up to the surface in a little circle, and then they all the whales come up from the inside and gobble them up.
Yeah, so it's actually a cooperative feeding strategy. So one of the key things about this feeding thing is that it's not every whale who some of the whales that blow the bubbles don't get to eat every time. It's a give and take sort of system. But that's essentially it. They blow spirals or clouds of bubbles to corral fish towards a central point and towards the surface, and then they lunge feed together through the dense prey and get just a mouthful of whatever they're hunting. It requires coordination, timing, and we know that it's not an innate skill. It's a learned skill. So like I was talking about before, a lot of whales have cultural things. We were talking about that in the first one, cultural mating things, but they also just cultural behaviors, things that aren't necessarily built into their system that they learn along the way. Sometimes they learn it from their mums, from their grandmothers, but sometimes they learn it from other whales too. So the most famous thing, especially with humpbacks, is the whale song or the song lines. So these whale songs actually change. So they'll take them from Antarctica, and then depending on where they go, whether they go to the east coast of Australia or Hawaii or Canada, the songs change over the time, and then they will give the songs to other whales, and they change, sort of like our game where you whisper something and it changes along the way. So that's like the telephone game, sort of like that, but with a song. So these things that we know whales do, they're highly social creatures, and so they have social behaviors. And so bubble netting has been seen for decades in Alaska. They've been doing it. It's there. But it's been almost absent in large parts of the Canadian Pacific population, so just a bit further south, which was heavily depleted by whaling. So what these researchers did is they have analysed over 20 years of humpback whale observational data, so people watching these whales for 20 years, and they essentially watched them and built long-term social networks. So they tracked who met with who hung out with who. It's like the Love Island without the love bit. It's just Friendship City out here. It's like who is hanging with who. Same thing, watching whales mapping out their relationships.
Sophie Monk, yeah.
I don't know that reference. But I do know whales, and they tracked... I don't know the reference. They tracked which whales bubble net fed, where they first acquired the behaviour, and who they associated with before and after learning it, because this suddenly appeared in the Canadian population. And they distinguished it between the cooperative bubble net feeding and solo bubble net feeding. And the interesting thing that I found in doing this is they used this very specific technique called network-based diffusion analysis. Because realistically, how can you tell if something you cannot communicate with learnt something from a friend or just figured it out themselves? How do you figure that out? How do you make an educated guess on that? Well, it's called a network-based diffusion analysis, or an MBDA.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I feel like you do these all the time.
I do that with my friends all the time.
So the basis of this technique is essentially the assumption that socially learned behaviours will spread faster between individuals who spend more time together, right? So if you're really good at spinning a pen and we spend a lot of time together and then I'm suddenly really good at spinning a pen, and then I spend, you spend a little bit of time with Issy and Izzy's okay at spinning a pen. It's showing that the behaviour is social and you taught us how to spin pens.
Right.
Oh, they also had to think about, if the individual was better at the behaviour and then was spending time, like there was what was it called? Something like your ability to do it, like how good you were. It's a skill issue. Yeah, there was a skill issue element to this as well, which I thought was interesting. And then they controlled for sex, sight fidelity, observation, effort, so like how often did they see them, all these other things to make sure that they got it right. And they found that the bubble net feeding has recently begun spreading into the Canadian Pacific population, and that it definitely has been driven by immigrant whales bringing the knowledge with them from Alaska.
They get the job done.
They get the job done. Play the track.
Immigrants, we get the job done.
So these Alaskan humpback whales are going south into the Canadian population, hanging out with the individuals in the Canadian population, making friends. I guess that's a Peta speculism. And then they teach them how to do bubble net, or maybe they watch them doing bubble netting and learn from that way. But it's critically only happening because they are hanging out with these immigrant whales, and knowledge spreads through key individuals who are really good at it and those strong social connections. So friendship. Yay! Friendship is magic. Yeah. But the one really major thing here, really major thing is I mentioned earlier that the Canadian whales are not doing that great. They were really heavily fished throughout the last century, and so they're in a really bad place at the moment. Alaska's doing slightly better, and they found that some of the recovery of those whales in the last 20 years was linked to the spreading of bubble net feeding through those social networks. So it actually helped that knowledge transfer, the cultural knowledge transfer of how to do this behaviour to help them feed was so helpful that it has increased recovery of that of that population. And I know we've talked about this before, especially with things like orcas and whales, but it shows that cultural knowledge is as important, maybe not as important, but it can be as important as the numbers. Like we talked before about how conservation is not just a numbers game. It's not just how many individuals you have. It's knowing how those individuals behave, and critically, do they have all the cultural knowledge they should have? Because in things like whales, you lose cultural knowledge really quickly. And so what's happened here is they think they lost the cultural knowledge of how to do bubble netting, and that really set them back because they weren't feeding effectively. And now that knowledge has returned, they're doing better. And so it's an idea of, when we're thinking about this, we really need to think about how cultural loss can be as damaging as population loss, and it's really difficult to restore once it's gone. Because it's not like these people, pulled a whale from Alaska to go and teach the Canadian whales to do it. We can't interfere in that way. You just have to hope that they chat over some time. Also, another thing, it's the similar part of the world to my first story, but I, again, want to really mention that this research was heavily led by the First Nations people in Canada, specifically the Gitga'at First Nation people, not only for the access to the fjord system and the stewardship of these amazing animals, but without the traditional knowledge that bubble netting did not exist in this population before, none of this would matter, because we wouldn't know that they'd lost it, or that we could learn it. Yeah. So it's just a reminder of all the amazing things that can happen with collaboration, trust, and respect, and sort of being willing to chat and work on things together. But just a cool story all round.
You tuned to 4ZZZ, and the show is No Idea with me, Max. We've got Maximillian, we've got Issy, we've got Elly, and we've got Gabe. And Gabe, tell us some of the texts.
Yeah, Max, the text line's been going off, hasn't it? Owen texted in saying, morning, could the bubble netting strategy be applied to getting 4ZZZ subscribers, Max?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
I reckon we could. For sure. And Murray also texted in, and we didn't see this come through, but Murray beat all of us to the punch at what bubble netting is. We had the full description in the text line before we'd even gotten it out of our own mouths. Blowing bubbles to scare fish into a group to gulp. The perfect explanation of bubble netting.
Fair enough.
We could honestly leave. We'll bring in text line and they'll take care of it.
That's right. Automate the text line.
Okay, it's time for the best part of the show. Loosely defined as science, yeah, you already know. Everybody listens to 4ZZZ just to hear us talking about what Butters just did. Subscriptions just keep rolling like the tires on a car. But something tells me that our science curves won't go far. But unlike an engine, I won't keep you in suspension. We're all here to hear him talk, so let's give him attention. You're not ready for when he starts rapping. Gonna hand the mic to Max, and I'm not talking Van Stappen.
F1. New regs.
You may think it's starting in March, but it's starting now.
It's right. New year, new regs. I'm thinking it's 2024 because I'm worried history is going to repeat itself for one team in particular, that is Williams, who have said that they won't go to the shakedown in Barcelona, which is currently happening. Back in 2024, Williams famously only built 2 chassis for their team for the start of the year. And Alex Albon binned it, so poor American Logan Sargent had to give his chassis to Alex Albon for the Australian race of 2024.
Isn't it fantastic?
And it sort of set up Logan Sargent's year because he was ultimately dismissed from the team.
After racking up a huge bill, by the way.
That's right. So maybe they should have just fielded one car for the whole year and just have Albon drive it. Now let's talk about the shakedown,
I don't think that's the solution. I think it's build the spare car. I mean, I don't know.
It's been held over 5 days. The teams get 3 days of testing if they so choose. Some teams are ready, some aren't. So just tell us.
So Williams is not ready.
Yes.
So they're not rocking up whatsoever.
Yeah. They got the hospitality thing there, though, so they could have plenty of coffees made, I guess.
That's it. The sponsorships are doing well, I'm sure, with access to the paddock, but their cars aren't there.
That's right. Who needs cars? Where we go?
The media release says it's for optimization purposes or something like that. But, most people read between those lines.
And they said
the
they're going to do
not ready again.
They're going to do a simulated shakedown. Whatever that means.
Yeah. The shakedown isn't even the official testing. It's an additional thing that the FIA, the regulatory body behind F1, says is not to be broadcast, but there are daily highlights being posted on YouTube if you want to watch what's happening.
So Monday, that was day one. 7 teams showed up with cars. Mercedes were first on the track. Their car's called a W17. And it had Kimi Antonelli driving it in the morning, and then George Russell took over in the afternoon. Red Bull, Red Bull's probably a favourite for this year. They got the RB22.
Famously now powered by Red Bull powertrains.
Yes.
As in a fizzy drink company has made an engine in collaboration with Ford.
Yeah.
But still, it's on their campus in Milton Keynes. Really cool stuff. And they put like a significant amount of mileage.
They did, with Isaac Hadjar behind the wheel.
Laying down the benchmark as well.
And then Racing Bulls, the sister team to Red Bull, they got the V-Carb 03. It went out with New Zealander Liam Lawson. And Haas looks really good this year, their car. I don't know if it's performance-wise.
Well, the livery looks good.
The livery. It's the VF26. And have you seen the livery, Gabe, on the new Haas car? It's got because they're sponsored by Toyota. The headline sponsor is Toyota Gazoo Racing. So you see this big GR on the side of it and the big Haas. Yeah, you can't miss it. So they had Ocon circulating with that car. Audi, big story. Really the only true German team, even though Mercedes.
We're splitting hairs, are we?
We are a bit, because the Mercedes engines is built in the UK, isn't it?
Yes, it is indeed.
Yeah, where the Audi engine is a true German team from the chassis right through to the power unit.
Well, I mean, like Swiss, right?
Swiss, okay.
The
It's
power
Sauber,
unit is built.
ex-Sauber.
Yes, yeah.
It's called the R26, and it had Bortoletto behind the wheel on the Monday practice. And then Alpine showed up, which is great. They're pretty bullish, Maxie. They were saying that their chassis is pretty good, and they got a Mercedes power unit, which is the choice of the power units to have this year with the change of regs. It's called the A526.
Yes. So, I mean, it's one of those things that there's always been a bit of tension between the British and French sides of the Alpine team with the Brits feeling like they could punch above their weight a bit if only they had a power unit that was good. So unfortunately, they're now no longer Renault powered, and they are now, as you said, Mercedes powered. As you say, the engine to have this year, because they've got a bit of a trick to increase displacement. Yes.
Yeah.
With some weird materials.
That's
work.
right. Different compression ratios, let's say, so more efficient burning of fuel. And that was run by the Argentinian Colapinto, and the big news, Cadillac, the brand new team on the grid for this year. They haven't designated a number or anything for their car. They're just calling it the Cadillac team car.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, the Cadillac F1 team car. There you go. That's
okay.
better.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they're going to start numbering it once they actually bring their own power units or something.
Maybe,
like
in 2029? Yeah, that's a fair way off. But
it is.
So they're currently powered by Ferrari, and it was driven by honorary Australian Valtteri Bottas. So that was good. He was glad to be back behind the wheel after serving his penance at Mercedes as their third driver. He didn't manage to get a drive last year, did he?
No, he did not.
No one got sick.
No one got sick.
No, he's just sitting
or injured.
We did spot him in the F2, I think.
He did a show car.
He did a show car. He did a lap, and I think that was probably the closest.
That's all he did. Otherwise, he's been on two wheels, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tuesday, day 2.
Bottas, the cyclist.
The team's got a bit scared about going out on day 2 because there's wet in Barcelona. So only Ferrari and Red Bull came out. So it was the first day of testing Ferrari, the SF26. And it had Charles behind the wheel in the morning, and Lewis Hamilton drove the car in the afternoon session. And then Red Bull came out, and this time they had the boss, Max Verstappen, driving it for the morning session. Yeah. And then Isaac Hadjar, they let him back into the car for the afternoon session, which he promptly binned it. So they're not sure if the car's going to be able to be fixed for today.
Yeah, I think they're going to take today off.
Wednesday? There you go.
And then do Thursday, Friday.
So if we're to speculate, Wednesday, day 3, McLaren's already there. They've been doing some finishing touches to their MCL 40. And if they want to get the maximum 3 days of testing in, they'd have to hit the track today, Wednesday.
Yep.
So we're assuming that. And Issy was a bit challenged by their bespoke black livery, concerned that they wouldn't be recognised between them and Mercedes and, say, Aston Martin and Cadillac.
Or Cadillac, because the photos I got leaked, I think, on Reddit, or were shown on Reddit, were just in the black, no papaya, or like a teeny tiny McLaren logo.
And you were a bit concerned when I was talking to you yesterday, but it's actually just a test livery.
It is just the test livery.
And I'll go back to papaya.
Yes, a lot of misinformation as well, with people creating their own liveries for some cars, which was quite fun. So I'm not quite sure what to trust. But yes, I was a little concerned, but I think those shouldn't be worried about it.
MIA today will be Aston Martin, which is a bit concerning because they won't get the 3 days in.
And they are the only Honda-powered car as well.
Yes.
So that's the only engine manufacturer that hasn't had any running in the shakedown thus far.
So we're thinking Thursday, Friday for Aston Martin.
That's what they're saying right now.
Yeah. They got the car there. It's got to bolt on a few more pieces, which are coming from the factory as we speak. So we'll see what happens. It's called
Newy's latest.
That's right. And it's called the AMR26.
Yeah.
And then Friday...
There's some weird packing on the Honda power unit as well, which the last time they did this, it wasn't exactly great, but they're definitely pushing their limits in terms of,
So you think it might overheat a bit when it comes to Melbourne?
Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first newly designed car that had, issues like that, but a bit of a glass cannon maybe.
And definitely we can say for Friday, Williams won't be rocking up with their FW48.
You can definitely say that. The rumour is that they had not passed the crash test yet.
No, that's false.
That's false?
Yeah, it's false. Yeah.
Is that officially disputed?
Yeah, that's right. No, they passed the crash test. They're just having trouble making the parts, unfortunately. So, as usual. Well, any more to add to the F1 as we lead up to the race in March and more testing in Bahrain?
Yeah, no, nothing else. Just that, we're kicking off, aren't we?
There we are. It's getting serious.
GP.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And Ferrari's actually looking good. They put a lot of miles in, so the SF26 might be a all right car.
Yeah.
Fingers
crossed.
crossed.
So did Haas as well, so the power units,
Yeah, okay, so the Ferrari power unit,
Yeah.
Daytona, Max?
Yes, 24-hour happened on the weekend. There were a lot of safety car interventions because a heavy fog beset the whole track, so no one could drive quickly. So the race only managed around 700. Well, they managed 705 laps, and it's usually closer to the number of 800 laps. So a much diminished race. I was hoping for a Cadillac top tier, the GTP prototype cars, for a victory for Cadillac to set the tone for this year as they go into F1, but the number 31 Cadillac only managed to finish second. It was 1.5 seconds behind the eventual race leader, which was number 7 Porsche, and the number 24 BMW rounding out the podium in third. We did have a couple of Aussies in the field. Aussie Matt Campbell finished 4th overall in the number 6 Porsche, which set the fastest time of the race of 1 minute 35 seconds, 0.8. So, yeah, job done. No more to report on the Daytona there.
Done. And nothing much else coming up in the racing world other than Sail GP in about 2 weeks' time in Auckland. Everything else kicks off in March, really.
It's good news about Dorian Penn. We were talking about her last week, and she's been designated a sort of test driver with Mercedes F1 team.
She is the new Valtteri.
She is the new Valtteri.
Okay. Is that it for the MotoRap this week? Sounds good.
Done.
Okay. The show's No Idea with me, Max. We've got Peta. We've got Gabe. We've got Elly. What do you got for us, Issy?
This story is probably not as fun as the many others, but it is within my realm of interest, which is in, of course, harm reduction. So I asked my team, what can $10 get you in this economy right now?
Right now?
Right now.
If you're lucky, at a stretch, a Chubba Chup.
Yeah.
2 bananas.
1 piece of KFC.
Maybe a very cheap coffee.
I was going to say like half a barmy or something.
A matcha.
Yes. Well, the Burnett Institution and the Australian National University have an answer, and it's in our harm reduction strategies. In the ACT, maintaining harm reduction services could deliver more than $250 million in health and societal benefits between 2026 and 2030, so only 4 years, and avert dozens of overdose deaths as well. According to Harm Reduction International, harm reduction is a broad category of policies, programs, and practices that aim to minimize negative health, social, and legal impacts associated with drug use, drug policies, and drug laws. An example of this in Queensland would have been our very, very short-lived pill testing scheme here. And of course, I'm pretty sure we all spoke a little bit about it last year and all the controversy that surrounded it getting banned in this state. Luckily, the ACT still has its program ongoing, and in this specific study, they conducted a cost-benefit analysis of existing and new harm reduction interventions in the state, including using an independent decision tree model to get health outcomes. I looked these up. Decision tree learning is a cool example of AI where it's not exactly generative, but it uses statistics and machine learning to draw conclusions about a set of observations. They use data from the National Drug Strategy Household Survey and the prevalent estimates of people who inject drugs, stratified by the drug-based distribution seen in the 2023 illicit drug reporting systems interview. So they use not only population data, but also kind of usage data. In this study, it was used to essentially predict the future through statistic modelling, with a variety of health outcomes including non-fatal and fatal drug overdoses to opioids and non-opioids, emergency responses including ambulance attendance, transport and hospitalisation for overdose, injection-related infections, and hepatitis T incurrence. They then examined what happens when you apply harm reduction interventions, cool things like drug consumption rooms, drug checking services, needle and syringe programs, opioid and agonist treatments, safer opioid supplies, and naloxone as well, which I personally do have. They found that the ratio of benefit to cost in the current package of harm reduction services was 10-1. Essentially, every dollar into this service had $10 of benefits coming out. So that was not only reducing hospitalization, but also the burden of disease on the health system as well. Furthermore, the Professor Paul Dietz from the Burnett Program Director of Disease Elimination stated for every dollar invested, a drug consumption room could return up to nearly $3 in benefits through avoided overdose deaths, reduced ambulance call-outs, and shorter hospital stays. The modelling also examined a scenario in which more potent synthetic opioids enter the ACT drug market, which is a trend that has been seen in other parts of Australia. This comes after this year's report found that opioid deaths are higher than car death rates in Australia. So this is quite prominent science. And I think this is the type of data that we need to see, because a lot of people ask, where does the money come from? Where does the funding come from? That's crazy. 1 to 10 is an insane amount. So hopefully I'm excited to see where this data goes. And it's unfortunate that we may not see drug checking come back in Queensland under the current legislation, but hopefully we can see it flourish in other states as well. So I guess that's what $10 can get you in this economy, besides a very, very nice matcha.
3 physicists at the Technical University of Denmark, they have ranked the types of paper that are most likely to cause a paper cut.
Oh, shut up. Really?
Yeah.
I still think about that
every time.
Every time I flip through paper, I think about it.
Shut up. You tune into 4ZZZ, and the show is No Idea, your weekly dose of science. What do you got for us, Gabe?
Cow tool use, Max, is what I've got for you in what might be the story of January 2026. I remember the first 2026 science story that'll stick with me for a while, because it's got this one part of it that's really got me thinking about what we've talked about in previous stories on the show that we'll get into at the end. But first, I would like you to meet Vitka virtually. Parasocially, meet Vitka.
I want to meet Vitka in person.
This guy, Vitka Vigala, he owns a cow called Veronika. And when I tell you...
Why wouldn't he?
When I tell you, this guy, Vitka, is living my dream. He is an artisanal baker living in a small village amongst the green grass and ringing bells of the mountains of Austria.
Right.
That is such a life. He wears a smile in every photo I've seen that looks like he never takes it off. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys.
It's just his life. He's got it figured out.
And his cow makes international science news. I want to also need to
I will say, it's maybe, you say it's your dream. I think it's just more what you look like you're built for as a person.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
Physically, like if you're, who you're imagining as Vitka is probably Gabe.
In 30 years.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well. Veronika herself, the true star of this story, is a 13-year-old Swiss brown cow. She's not raised for milk or meat. They say she's part of the family. I'm going to play you a clip here, and I want you to imagine this cow amongst the grass with the bells ringing. This is a real clip from the study. Just standing in a small paddock on the edge of the village.
I feel like...
Is the Von Trapp family going to enter the scene? Or?
Well, hopefully not. But you never know. There are more of the people they were running from nowadays. You know what it makes me think of? Do you know that TikTok where it's like you blow on the screen and the cow's got the hair?
Yeah.
And it's like flowing in the wind? That's what I'm imagining.
Yeah.
Now, over 10 years ago, Vitka the baker noticed Veronika, the cow, would occasionally pick up sticks and use them to scratch herself. 10 years ago.
Girl's itchy.
A while later, a friend of his recorded the behaviour and sent it to Alice Auersberg, who is a cognitive biologist and one of the 2 researchers listed on this paper. They became really interested after this video because it shows Veronika scratching herself. And you can't believe anecdotes like this. There's all sorts of claims around the world
AI
about
nowadays.
AI
There's bunnies
nowadays.
jumping on trampolines.
So there could be cows scratching themselves in Austria. So they said they must go and test it in person.
We must go.
And they say the trip was
After they
purely
had
for
their
the
sauna.
purposes of scientific validation. But exactly right, Max. It also involved a trip to the Austrian countryside, so that probably helped sweeten the deal.
Pretty nice.
What they were looking for was flexible tool use. This is the term. It includes goal orientation. It has to have a goal. It needs to be repetitive and it needs to be consistent with the tool's functional properties. It also will usually, in the case of what they're looking at, involve the cow, Veronika, using the object, the stick or the brush, to extend her own body while applying mechanical force. Okay?
Gotcha.
So we're looking for very specific things to qualify for flexible tool use. Tool use itself means lots of things. They're looking specifically at flexible tool use. So they went and they had a series of sessions with Veronika where she was presented with a deck brush, which is just a broom. It's a broom.
Yeah, but it's like a sturdy
wooden broom.
It's like the broom that you'd see in like a Disney 1920s animation.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
That.
It's the one in that Mickey Mouse animation in Fantasia.
Oh,
they placed it
14.
horizontally.
Bunning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They placed it horizontally on the ground. The
Placed
orientation.
it before her, kneeled in front of the cow and presented the broom.
It glistened.
I'm not sure if there was kneeling, but there may have been. They pointed it left or right, randomized each time, and then recorded what she did. For a start, they saw that she uses her tongue to manipulate the object. So she
Incredible.
uses her tongue, wraps it around the broom, lifts it up, and then clamps it between her incisors and her molars, creating a stable grip that allows precise control, and then uses it to scratch herself. So that's tool use confirmed. That's the flexible tool use. That checks all those boxes of what they were looking for. What's more, it also includes anticipatory action because she switched her grip on it. So she was able to sort of size it up and change the grip and anticipate, if I hold it here, it's not going to be long enough. I need to move down to here.
Yeah, this time it's my butt that's itchy, so it needs to be further away.
Well, on that in particular, I want to play you a clip by the lead researcher, Antonio Osuna Mascaro, explaining what they weren't expecting to see that happened next.
Then we found something interesting and unexpected. Veronika used each end of the tool in a different way. She preferred to use the blunt stick for the soft skin of her lower body, and she strongly preferred the hard bristles of the broom for her upper back, where the skin is thick. All of this suggests that Veronika is sensitive to the physical properties and functions of her tools in relation to the body area she wants to reach.
How good is that?
Recorded in the field.
Everything
live.
about this study is incredible.
Yeah.
And so that's Antonio saying, yes, she uses different ends of the broom to do different things. So when she picks it up from the handle end, she'll often usually uses the brush end to scratch her back and the thick skin on her hind.
Specifically, he said strongly prefer, which makes me think that maybe one time, you said they were flipping it back and forth. They gave it to her with the stick end, and she was like, "Oh,
they're just
no,
looking at
absolutely
the rate. Almost every single time she used the brush on the back, on the top back, and then she'd use the stick end. She'd pick it up by the brush end, still using the handle, and then use the stick to sort of scratch the softer underside and that sort of stuff, and underneath the tail to scratch softer areas. They publish it in Current Biology, which is where those recordings come from. And so that means that it's not only flexible tool use, it's not only anticipatory tool use, it's also multi-use tool. Using it
multimodal.
That's it. Yeah. So different parts for different tasks and using it differently to do that, which is pretty incredible. That's
someone should give her a back scratcher and just be like, see if she likes that it's a better tool, a tool that's specifically meant to scratch back.
I'm sure they've got plans to go back.
What about through a car wash? Probably love that.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Multi-purpose tooling, they're calling it, or what it is called. And they say it's extremely rare. The only other animals that they say there is strong evidence, there's evidence for others, but strong evidence for multi-purpose tooling in humans and chimpanzees.
Yes.
Damn, girl,
so
come up to the
jump
big league.
To Veronika the cow.
Damn.
To have this
She's
sort
part of the family, Gabe.
Yeah.
She's been learning.
She has. And it's yet another case of animals being smarter than we often assume until someone looks a little closer. But there's one last part of this that I latched onto. So the study's incredible. Confirmed tool use, confirmed flexible tool use, confirmed anticipatory tool use, gorgeous cow, confirmed multi-purpose tool use. And then there's something, the researchers say there's no reason to expect Veronika is intelligent for a cow. Veronika's a pretty standard cow from all the evidence they've seen, which means
that's crazy.
What's special about this tool use, the fact that it's happening, isn't something in her genes, it's something in her lifestyle. Like they said, Veronika's part of the family, not raised for milk, not raised for meat. Her life circumstances, she's much older than these cows would typically reach. She doesn't need, it's not, all of her ecological needs are met, and the conditions are there that she has basically boredom, which we talked about before.
We have talked about boardom with
when you have
things.
all of those ecological conditions met, and you get boredom, and she's been provided with enrichment stuff for her whole life.
That's good, yeah.
So the conditions are there, boredom plus opportunities to do something with the boredom. You get this tool use. We've seen it like in the capuchin monkeys.
It's much better than the monkeys. At least she's not out here stealing children or something. Imagine if someone was like, "Hey, I took a video of this guy's cow, and he seems to be stealing a child." Like maybe science should check this out.
Right, but in that study last year on capuchin monkeys on that island in Central America, they said their needs are met. There are no predators. That they're worried about. They seem to be filling a void of boredom by doing the stone tool use. Several years ago, that was recorded, and kidnapping babies of another monkey on the island. So there seems to be a trend here of when relatively intelligent, complex animals like mammals get bored, they
have
seem
some
to
free
pull off some
time.
pretty cool tricks.
Okay.
Yeah, and so if necessity is the mother of creation, I reckon boredom must be the father of tool use.
Fair enough.
And
That's a good
even
one.
in cows. And I've got one last little treat for you in this story, because if you go into the paper and you have a look at the videos they've posted, at the end of one, it's sort of like a post-credit scene.
Oh, great.
The black fades out and you're left with
The long
Veronika
goodbye.
standing there. Next to Veronika is Vitka, who has a message for you.
Oh.
Hello, guys. Here my name is Vitka, and this is my very intelligent cow, Veronika. And we have some message for you. Save the nature, then you protect yourself. And nature diversity is the key to survive on this planet. Thank you.
Oh,
that actually
That's all I
thank
got for
you.
Yeah, it's so
Can we play that at the start of every show? Because he's not wrong.
Maybe on
It's
Eco
kind of the message
Radio.
we've been trying to get across for like 4 years.
But what if I told you there are trees that become even more powerful after being struck by lightning, to the point where they may have even evolved to attract lightning strikes?
Ooh, I was going to do it. What doesn't kill you makes you stupid. But actually, no. Like, that's crazy.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Attracts lightning strikes.
Oh, yes.
No idea. Space news. Artemis 2 has made its way to the launch pad, ready to be launched next month, so not too far away. The next process before launch will be the fueling of the SLS booster, and if anyone remembers about the Artemis 1, they needed a lot of spanners to stop the hydrogen leaking out of all the different joints that they have, trying to send the hydrogen.
Tricksy little atom. Pretty small.
So it took them a couple of times to fuel up the SLS booster. So hopefully I'll get it right this time. It's been about 50 years since we've flown anyone to the moon or around the moon. And we're sending 4 astronauts this time on a 10-day journey aboard the Orion spacecraft. The mission will test life support systems, perform a high-altitude flyby, and conduct in-space manual piloting before returning to Earth. The flight will take the crew further from Earth than any previous human mission before, re-entering Earth's atmosphere at a record speed of approximately 40,000 kilometers per hour.
Wow.
All I'm saying is let's hope that the Orion heat shield works properly this time.
Oh, God. Is that speeding ticket territory?
Fair enough.
Okay, Gold Coast Space Company, they're called Gilmore Space. They've secured 217 million Australian dollars in investment through its latest funding round.
Isn't that incredible? They're
Hell
valued.
yeah.
They're valued $1 billion now. We've had
Yes.
them on the show a couple of times a few years
Yeah.
ago in their early stages.
Yes.
Just incredible to see their growth.
So they reckon the money will be used to develop the company's rocket technology and scale up its
Oh,
operations
I'd hope so.
on the Gold Coast and Australia's only spaceport in Bowen. Don't you think 12 seconds was enough, Peter, for their first flight?
I think it could be longer. But you never know. Maybe they want to divert some of that money to like a really good coffee machine in the break room.
Yes,
you know?
yeah. Chief Executive Adam Gilmore said the investment reflected investor confidence in their team and its ability to build and operate critical space infrastructure at home, along with reaching important technical and business milestones. So yeah, that's it. As you tune into 4ZZZ, and the show is No Idea with me, Max, Peter, Issy, Elly. What do you got for us, Gabe?
Max, I've got purple tomatoes for you. It's a trademark term, the purple tomato,
Is
and
it?
you might start seeing it on your shelves because it has just cleared the 2 regulatory milestones it needs to for being
colour?
sold in Australia and New Zealand.
No, it's more than colour, Max.
Well,
It's more than colour.
I'm sure they considered the colour, but it's about the food safety standards because it's a GMO product, so it has to go through some checks. I always say with GMO, nothing in
Yeah.
your supermarket
We're
has
just
not been
speeding up
genetically
stuff.
modified in some way. We just do it really surgically now.
Come to me with an original pear and see if you want to eat it.
Yeah, pick up, next thing you pick up yeah.
Or the original wheat. Remember that?
Yeah. Let's just see those
Make some
things.
bread
Tell
from
me how you
that.
feel about them.
The original orange was just like a pithy bit of sour citrus with a 1,000 C's in it. Anyway, yes, it's been cleared for approval. So you might start seeing purple tomatoes on your shelves. They use the same antioxidant for colour, which is in blackberries and blueberries to give it the colour.
Right.
So, yeah.
But not just the colour, also the antioxidants.
And the antioxidants, yeah. They're not, I'd call them brown.
Semi-super
Oh,
fruit.
when you cut them, they're pretty purple.
Yeah, they're purple on the inside.
Yeah, purple on the inside.
Sorry, I meant when you, if you're looking for purple tomatoes.
They're not going to be luminescent, no.
Yeah,
they will look a bit like maroon.
That's it. But they will start popping up on the shelf as, over the next little while. And Max, there's only one radio station in the country that I reckon would keep you up to date on the latest tomato news. And that's this one right here on No Idea. 4ZZZ Science Show. And the only way we stay on air and keep bringing you all that latest tomato news is through the amazing people who sponsor 4ZZZ and do genuinely make it possible for us to broadcast this radio. If you'd like to join them, you can jump on the 4ZZZ.org.au website /support. What are the options in there, Issy?
Oh, me. You have under 18, $25, pets $25, full for $80, passionate for $140, super sub $500, get your name downstairs. Not only do you get purple tomatoes, but you can also go in the running for our monthly prize. Every month we get a new sub outlet that is happy to sprinkle in something else with your subscription. This month it is 10 free sessions from TTB Fitness based in Seven Hills. They're an inclusive and community-driven fitness gym, and they are sessions available for any of their group sessions, including specialty, weightlifting and gymnastics as well. So if you're looking to kick off your new year with your GMO tomatoes and your fitness, 4ZZZ's the place to be.
Do you know what you get when you cut it open at 4ZZZ?
What?
Some warm inner.
Oh, nice. Corny. Yeah.
Very good.
Sign us out,
Gabe. Right there, I think I'm going to wrap up the show. That's clearly all we have time for this morning.
Thank God.
Thank you to all our subscribers. You can join them at 4ZZZ.org.au and help keep us on air. 4ZZZ.org.au is also where you can listen back to the full recording of this show with all the music as well as a bunch of our previous shows. The condensed version is available on your podcasting platform of choice. To search up No Idea 4ZZZ. That's No with a K. No Idea 4ZZZ. And you can watch us back on socials. We're at No Idea 4ZZZ on pretty much all of the platforms now, except Max has found some new ones that we're apparently not on, so we'll try and get on all the
up scroll. Let's do it.
Up scroll.
We're not there yet. You'll find us everywhere else.
What's up, dog? Now, thanks to Toby for editing up that pod. Thanks to you, Max, Issy, Peta, Elly, for your stories this week. We'll be back in your ears next week. Between now and then, put $1 into harm reduction, track a whale's bubbles, look out for BSCT in your toothpaste, and never underestimate a cow called Veronika.
And we'll speak to you next week.
I'm a goddamn marvel of modern science.
We've got a text in from Toby. Yeah, thank you, Toby.
Just get him on the show at this point. He's like backseat driving.
But we really are puppets of Toby's at this point, aren't we?
As we should be.
I can't spin a pen.
Neither can I, to be honest.
That's right.
Really bad at spinning pens.
Toby can edit that out.
Cut that, Toby. No one needs to know about Gabe's secrets.
Charlie texted in to clarify Izzy's spin penning ability as well. We all
What a supporter.
we all got thrown under the bus. Izzy,
Yeah.
Izzy is only okay at spinning pens.
Yeah, damn, I'll work on it so you can all be better at spinning pens.
Yeah.